all of us are called as data principals. Okay. And our data is being processed in the organization, like wherever we are working. Okay. If you're working in a bank, our data is being processed as employee data. And if you're working in an IT company and you're going to a bank to open an account, then we are all called as data principals, and our data is being processed by the bank. Then it is called data fiduciary. So banks, insurance companies, all they'll be called as banks, financial tech companies, insurance companies, all these are called as data fiduciaries. So now we'll come to know what are their obligations. Now we have come to know what are our rights as a employee. Yeah, data principal rights we have come to know. Okay. Now we are talking about data fiduciary. Data fiduciary is entity that determines the purpose and means of processing personal data. So the organization or the firm or the company who is processing our data. Okay. So they have decision-making power. Yes. Full control over why they are processing their data and how data is being processed. Okay. As a data fiduciary, they can process the data, but they are always accountable to provide the justification to us, like you and me, for the data principles. They have to provide the purpose. Okay. So they are legally accountable under the DPDP Act. Consent management. It is a responsibility to obtain and manage the consent. So consent management is also the responsibility of data fiduciary. Okay. In an organization, they are going to utilize the service of a consent manager as defined by the Data Protection Board of India and Government of India. Data Protection Officer, this is another role which we have discussed just now. It is applicable to only significant data fiduciary. Okay. This will be coming under section 10. Again, we'll discuss in the next slide. Relationship with data principal. Data principal like you and me. So data fiduciary is the bank or health insurance company or a hospital. So there we have direct relationship with the data principal. So data fiduciary is having direct relationship with the data principal like you and me. So if you give example, like bank is a data fiduciary, e-commerce firm is a data fiduciary, hospital is a data fiduciary, and the HR department in a bank or in a hospital or in any company is a data fiduciary because they are going to process our data. Okay. So when we've talked about all these things, what is the compliance burden to data fiduciary? It is very high. Okay. So what is the legal liability? It is directly liable for data breaches and non-compliance. So whoever is going to process our data, they have high legal liability, high compliance burdens, and all sorts of non-compliance and data breaches need to be handled with the privacy framework which is going to be established in their organization. So this is just to give a brief to you. Now we'll talk about data fiduciary obligations. We just touch base what are the data principal rights. Now we are talking about data fiduciary obligations. So privacy notice. Privacy notice to be given to the customers. Okay. Data accuracy. Okay. If data is not accurate, then data breach can happen. So data accuracy, data integrity is very much important. Breach need to be reported on time. Okay. The timelines as per the DPDP Act is 72 hours. So today morning, 10 o'clock, some data breach happened in our bank or in our organization. Okay. Within 72 hours. So today it happened, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So within 72 hours, it need to be reported to two areas. One is to the affected individuals like you and me, and to the Data Protection Board of India, which is constituted by Government of India at Delhi. Okay. So that breach need to be reported on time. And valid consent. As we discussed, consent should be appropriate, clear, unambiguous, transparent, and should be very easy to understand by the data principles. So here again, touch basing the most important point, for child, if any data fiduciary is processing their data, parent consent or guardian consent is a mandate. Yeah. And security safeguards, records management. Yeah. Purpose limitation. I was just telling lawful purpose. Use the data only for the purpose for which you have collected. Okay. And data minimization is another concept which is most important as per DPDP Act. And even in Europe, US, in Europe, it is GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. In US, it is California Consumer Protection Act, CCPA. So as per all the global privacy laws, purpose limitation and lawful purpose. This is most important. Second one is data minimization. So collect only those details from the data principles. So any data fiduciary, either bank or health tech company or health insurance company, they should collect only the data which is required to the min to the minimum possible extent. So data minimization is another concept, and vendor oversight. If at all you are using it, okay, vendor oversight and audit readiness. So these are the data fish.
Watch the full video on our website. Click the link in the description to get started.